So it's a bit of a change from my normal recording backdrop. I thought I'd come out for a walk and thought it'd be nice to record a video out in nature and do something a little bit different. I was talking to a dear friend a couple of days ago about a forthcoming retreat, and I made the comment that we need to strip away what's unnecessary. And it got me thinking, because what she replied was one of the reasons she followed the work that I do is because I'm constantly trying to keep it as simple as possible, you know, to almost do like a non-frills version of spirituality, devoid of the long fanciful terms or the form or the ritual and what have you. And this stripping away of the unnecessary, I now feel, is something that's more and more important now in this day and age. You know, we live and we are conditioned into increasing complexity. There's a quote I always use at my talks by Walt Whitman, which is that if the truth was complicated, we all understand it. And unfortunately, what we've done is abandon simplicity for complexity, because it gives our ego, it gives our mind a sense of worth. It allows us to feel that we're on some sort of journey, or there's some sort of goal to attain. And really, there is no journey, there is no goal to attain. If there's anything to attain, and I use the word loosely, or even realize, is just that realizing that this is it. This is all there is. This moment is all that we have. And that this moment is where we meet ourselves, where we lose ourselves, where the entire play of life manifests itself. And it's simple, and it's devoid of any frills, it's devoid of anything that's unnecessary. There is just this moment, and whatever that moment brings up, whether it's laughter, joy, tears, anger, whatever, it's perfect as it is. It's pristine, it's simple, it defies logic, it requires no explanation. And yet, in our drive for advancement, we found that we've complicated something quite simple. You know, we've taken something very, very simple, that is the birthright for everybody, and we've absolutely complicated death. We've created religions around it, we've created spiritual approaches around it. We have literally created so much form and so much fluff and so much unnecessary drama that so many people are seeking this reality, which is right here. It reminds me of a talk I did in Slovenia, when at the end of the break I sat down and just decided to play a bit of a practical joke and said, "I've lost myself." To which this young man replied, "But you're here." And the truth is that immediate. It's so immediate, it doesn't even need to be known as a truth. It doesn't need to be explained. Its immediacy is such that there is nothing that can even witness it. There is really no subject or object. If it occurs, then that's still occurring here in this now. So this stripping away of what's unnecessary to reveal this inherent simplicity here is, I think, really the real point of spirituality. Now, I always quote Rumi's "Eliminate the barriers to love." So our job is not to seek this moment. Our job is not to realize this moment, or to attain it, or to try to understand it. It's really sometimes just about stripping away the unnecessary. And when we feel we've got to that point where we've let everything go, letting go of letting go as well. And in a sense, becoming almost devoid of any of these cliches, these practices, and just resting in what is. Now, the beautiful thing about resting in what is we are resting in what we actually are. And as something I always say, I go, this is a gift that will keep on giving, and we will pass, the physical body will get dropped or what have you, but there will still be a depth to this reality that we can constantly deepen in and realize. And it's really about the subtleties, and to live in this place of subtlety, to live in this place of simplicity, stripping away that which is not necessary is what's really required. And I think that's where self-inquiry is such a potent way of actually bringing it back down to basics and bringing it down to simplicity, as opposed to oh, we need to make some sort of sense of this, we need to claim this or attain this. And it's something I've also been saying. It's like, in the end, all goes into silence with no one to even, register that. So it is the death of the idea of you, of your concepts, of everything that you think this is. And as we strip away, out what is unnecessary, we see what is necessary, and what's necessary is just being present and being here. But with no one actively trying to do this as a method or as a practice, because sometimes, to say years ago, how do you practice yourself? You don't get up in the morning and put on you're already here, and this is as intimate and as immediate as that. And if there is that immediacy there, and if it's that immediate, then we don't need to seek it, we don't need to know it, we don't need to practice it. It's irrelevant whatever the reflection in the mirror feels is real, because that which is elusive is never going to know what's real. So why then would we be making all of this fuss? And the reality is, it's just all happening in this moment. It's just a play playing itself out, that this moment can put as much value into, or it can choose to ignore, whatever comes up, really. So it's important to just be as open as we can to whatever the experience brings, whatever this moment is. And I think that's why over the last couple of months I've been talking more about emotions and actually actively accepting things and living as openly as possible, and seeing ourselves as really not a drop that's limited in its nature, but as the ocean entire. And the ocean entire is happening right now, and it's this moment, and it's going on, and it's happening whether we are consciously aware of it or not. So there isn't really anywhere to travel to, even that's an idea. There isn't anything really just to accept and drop into now as well. Again, it's just an idea. And it's just about dropping these ideas to the point where there is no one seen to be dropping this. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. As I said, I am recording more videos. It's unusual to be out as well in nature. A bit of an unusual situation, because obviously there's people walking past and everything, and I'm thinking, this is interesting, I haven't done that. So yes, I'll carry on recording these videos as and how they come up, but let us look to strip away that which is unnecessary, because all that's left then is what is really necessary.